Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Hello, 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 beautiful people on this Pride Week here in New York City. What is going on? You are watching and, of course, listening to Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition, where we're here every Wednesday night on the Crowdcast platform. This week in particular, it is Pride Week. Pride in San Francisco and New York is happening, and we've got a lot to talk about. I am your host, Stevie V. This is episode 677. Alongside partner in crime, happy Pride, Cody Maurice Dalgett. How the hell you doing, Cody?
Happy Pride, boo. Hello, darlings. How are y'all doing this evening? It's so lovely to see your face and hear your voice and be with you in this Pride season.
Hello, gorgeous.
Yes, darling.
Yes, the term I brought back from South Africa, and I love it, and I couldn't think of a better time to use it. And we have got a lot to talk about on this episode. So much to get into. I mentioned it's Pride Week. A good portion of our show is going to be talking about celebrating Pride. But before we get into that, for a lot of people around the nation here in the U.S. was Election Day and primaries, really, to be specific about it. And here in New York, we couldn't, you and I at least, I'm not sure everybody was excited, but I was very excited that Zohran Mamdani won the Democratic ticket. And, you know, I ran out there and I did a little bit of research on him and I voted for him. And you know that he beat out Cuomo, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, which was slated to be the top ticket. He thought he was just going to come in here after all of those allegations of a sexual abuse, after all of what he did or didn't do during the pandemic, and came in here. You remember that silly book that he wrote during that? I will never forgive him for that. I was like, when I'm on a mission, I was like, there's one thing that's not going to happen. Andrew Cuomo will not be on this ticket, because there's something about me that is not about angry white men that are just older, and I will do everything in my power to make sure you will rot and not be. And I swear, I summoned that I am going out there and voting, if nothing else, to get that Andrew Cuomo not be on that ticket. And the gods were shining. And how excited were you to see this 33-year-old Mamdani that Cynthia Nixon and so many of our LGBTQ people were really pushing for to get on the ticket. And it doesn't mean he's going to be the mayor, but at least he will be the Democratic nominee come this November. What were your thoughts?
It's definitely a win. Oh, and I have to, that face you were making just now reminds me of this GIF that I see of like the little kid just shaking his hand mad. I'll send it to you later. It was really cute. So I share your sentiments. I'm so happy about this. I think that this is a step in the right direction. It is a fight for what's going on, against what is going on right now, because I feel like the powers that be think that we're just going to sit by and be handed what they want us to have. And that's not the case. We're going to choose the person that's best for the job, that is best for us and our interests. So I think this is something that I really honestly think he has a very, very good shot at being the mayor.
I do too.
They turned out in droves for him.
Here's the thing, and we don't spend a lot of time talking about politics on this show, but as it does affect our LGBTQ rights, as it does affect our sexuality trickling down, it has to ultimately come on the show because who we choose to love apparently is often on the ticket, and that's why we talk a lot about this. We won't spend a lot of time, and believe me, we are getting into some fun topics throughout this hour, but it's worth us to talk about just a snippet of it, because when you are talking about our rights and when you are talking about the Democratic ticket that didn't work, sadly, for Kamala Harris, and how the Democratic Party and we have a huge American population that listens to our show, that when that's not working and we don't have any leaders in our bucket come midterms, come in the next 4 years, we've got to find leaders, and I'm so excited about him. Yes, we'll find more about him, but right now, this 33-year-old is young, youthful. I think it's exactly what we need right now. Get rid of the old. We need young energy. We need to rally up the troops. And he is somebody that speaks loud and proud. Did you know that his mother was the director of Mississippi Masala with none other than oh my gosh, who was in Mississippi Masala with him?
Denzel Washington.
Denzel, yeah. And he has a rap song out there too, Mandami, and it's really from back in the day. I'm refreshed by this news. I think this is exactly what we need, and so
I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
Right.
Maybe we can get this heat down outside too.
Yeah. Hello, we are live, and hello, James. Hello, Durant. Hello, Diego. I hear that there may be a delay. I'm not sure why that. Maybe refresh yours, because on our end, I don't see a delay. Do you on your end?
I don't know.
Sometimes if you refresh it on your end, and we'll keep going. But yeah. Oh my gosh. But it was a big election.
He said it's okay now. Yeah.
Oh, good. It was a big election day too. We just want to shout out to the new mayor of San Antonio, Texas, is Gina Ortiz Jones, and she won the ticket, and that's really exciting. What did you think about that, really quickly?
Oh, it was just amazing, especially in Texas. So I think that this is something that it's San Antonio. It's not like Austin, I don't think. So I think that it's a place where this type of representation will definitely matter, and it'll go a long way. So I'm very excited. I'm not moving to Texas, though. Sorry, guys.
I'm not either, although I love Austin and we love our Texas listeners. But
yes, we do.
We have a lot of Dallas friends that just love it there.
I'll come visit now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. A good time can be had over there. New Hampshire, shout out to you, because you also had the first trans representative. Democratic Billy Butler beat Republican Ken Hilton in the special election that occurred yesterday, and the seat was left vacant after Democratic Don Evans resigned to move districts. So, I mean, the first trans politician said she was humbled by the support she had received and vowed to help balance the legislature in New Hampshire. And I love New Hampshire as well, too.
Yeah.
So I think this is really good. We're off to a good start on these early elections.
Yeah, and I think it's a sign that people are becoming more aware that their vote does matter, and that what's going on currently can't proceed in this manner. So I think they're doing their best and doing their big one, and finally getting out there and voting for what's right, voting the right way. So it's definitely pushed back on what's happening.
Absolutely. So very excited about that. Well, we mentioned it is Pride Month. It is Pride Week here in New York City, as well as San Francisco. And I thought we'd start off, because there's a lot of news to get into, but what particularly this year is Pride meaning to you, Cody?
It's meaning the fight. The fight is what it's meaning to me right now. It means we have to stand up for our rights and not let them backslide. And even though they've slidden back just a little bit in some places, and we've taken some losses, I feel like, but that doesn't mean we have to take any more. We have to stand up and make sure we're doing our due diligence as far as representing and doing what we can for our rights. And personally, I'm just investing more in myself and becoming more aware of my sexuality and things of that nature.
Yeah. We can't forget a couple things too. You went on a couple marches earlier this spring to stand up for trans.
Yeah, I definitely am. So, just getting back more in touch with myself and my queerness, and getting out there doing some naked shoots, which I'll be posting something tomorrow. So take a peek, y'all.
I love it. And one way that you're celebrating as well is you have your brand new single coming out.
I know.
Friday. Let's just show the people.
Oh my God, that's neat.
There's the artwork. Cody Maurice, I Don't Want to Fight.
It's true. It's a bop if you ask me.
This Friday in time for Pride weekend. And you talked about it on Tuesday's show, but tell the people for today's episode on why you wrote the song, why you want it out now, and what they can expect.
Well, I wrote the song because me and the guy I was dating, my ex, we were just having constant bickering and stuff like that. So it's all about how I want to be loving instead of fighting. But it's a disco track. It's still a bop, even though it's kind of serious, and it's about sex. So how can you not love it? So the album artwork is just pure sex to me, sex and disco. So I am super excited, and I can't wait for everybody to listen to it and give me some feedback and some spins. Thank you.
The song's called I Don't Want to Fight. It drops this Friday wherever you get your music, Spotify, Apple Music. Look for it. Cody Maurice is the name. Do not make this part of your playlist, please. Yes, and we'll be talking more about it. But congratulations on this. This is really exciting. You. And I love the artwork. So
isn't it great? I was like, ooh.
Yeah, absolutely. So
it's high. It's going to get some attention. So I'm, that's the name of the game.
Want. Yeah, I think that's what you want. Good for you. And
thank you.
For me personally, this Pride season, it's dual folded in many ways. And I mentioned it on episode 676 that this year I've just been thinking a lot about Pride. I'm often not here. I'm often in the Bay Area where I'm from. I'm often celebrating two birthdays that are very important to me. My sister and my mom, they're a day apart. I will be celebrating with them in spirit. I've sent them packages. I will be celebrating with them in August. But this year I am here with my partner, Diego, my fiance. And from one way that we're going to celebrate is as a couple. And I can't think of the last time that I've been with a partner, if ever, really, to be honest. And
for Pride?
54.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever really been. And we're just going to go out. We're going to have a little brunch, I think. Duran, if you're listening, if you're doing nothing, please join us.
Oh, I want to go.
Well, you're busy.
I'll be in Tampa.
But we are going to be going to the parade, and we have we'll be representing as a couple. And so I think personally that's what's kind of special for the two of us. But really, he and I talked about this, and we just think the awareness of transgender is so important this particular year. The erasure, the people that are really trying to erase transgender is really what we're standing up for. So he ordered all these transgender mini flags that we're going to be going just for a little while. But yes, Duran, if you can make it, please join us. More to come on that. But yes, we're excited to do that. And that's what that means for us this particular year. And back to a lot of people were wondering about the Kennedy Center in D.C. as Trump has really tried to erase a lot of what that looks like. But I think the Dems hosted a private pride bash at the Kennedy Center as a giant fuck you to Trump. When President Trump, as we all know, took over the running of the Kennedy Center, I can't believe he made this part of his mission. This should not be on his list of things that he wanted to do, but he did that in February. He promised no more, quote unquote, woke productions, and he installed somebody in there to make that happen. And I'm talking about Richard Grinnell as the Art Center's acting president. Well, since then, not only have performers and productions pulled their appearances at the venue, but the center also canceled all of its plans for Pride Month. And it was World Pride this particular year. By the way, World Pride seemed really epic this year, despite the current administration.
Hello.
Well, yeah. In a rebuke of the president's takeover of the venue, 5 Democratic senators hosted a private, invite-only Pride Month event. They didn't tell the Kennedy Center in advance and the exact nature of the private booking. Well, the New York Times reported yesterday that the 90-minute show was booked at a 144-seat Justice Forum, and it was organized by Senator John Hickenlooper, and his co-hosts included Tammy Baldwin, Jack Rosen, Brian Schwartz, and so on. A lot of Congress members were there. Performers actually included people like Beth Malone, Brandon Uranovitz, Jelani Remy, and many others performed, including Jeffrey Seller, the producer of Hamilton.
Oh,
And they invited them as well. And the chorus members were among performers originally set to appear at the Kennedy Center's Classical Pride event this month. So it sounded like it was a beautiful event that went off without everybody knowing that it was going to go on. Elizabeth Warren was there as well. Jelani, shout out to Jelani, because he is a biggie for Vakaya. You know, I do a lot of work with Vakaya, and he is such an amazing singer, and he is often the cruise director on all of their cruises. He's so talented. He's done so much Broadway, The Temptations, and so on and so forth. And just for him to be there was like a big treat for the audience, I have to say. But kudos to them that they pulled this off.
Exactly. Elizabeth Warren was there, and Alexis Michelle was also a drag performer that was there. I was just looking at her social media, and she must have did her big one at there. She must have did her thing. So I'm very proud of them. I think that they are pushing back in ways that they know, and really showing people that this is not something that they're going to allow. So I'm happy that they did it. I wish I was invited.
Yeah, right.
Maybe
I know.
one.
Maybe the next one for sure. Yeah. But congratulations on that. Staying on Pride, you know, this particular year, we all know that many corporate sponsors have pulled away from their sponsorship. Mm-hmm. And here in New York Pride, really for years and years, the New York Pride's Heritage of Pride really relies on a lot of corporate sponsorships, including $750,000, a budget that fell short this year, to really not only create the parade, but a lot of free events that make it happen for a lot of people. You and I celebrate Pride all the time and go out all the time. Yeah. But Pride is really for not just those in New York City that don't go out that much, but it's really for people that come into the city. It is more than just the parade. It is a lot of free events that really you can show your pride. It is a nonprofit that lost so much money this particular year. We all know what's been going on. And they've been asking people to actually donate money. They've raised about 3/4 of the money that they need, but they still, up until June 30th, have to raise another $25,000. This might not mean much to you, Cody, and you don't really go to a lot of the free events that the New York Heritage Pride organization puts together. Mm-hmm. But when you think about it in a larger spectrum, when you think about how big New York is and what this really means to a lot of people that are coming out, a lot of people that are coming to New York, what do you think that really says that they have to raise extra funds for this?
I mean, that's the state of I'm not surprised at all. That's the state of where we're at, honestly. And I think that anyone that has the funds to donate should be donating, because we have to support our community out there. Yeah. And like you said, this is not just an event for people that are here and they go out all the time. people come in for this. I know several people that are flying in for this particular event. There are kids out there and elderly people that are coming into their queerness, and or they had their heyday out in the clubs, and now they just want something a little bit calmer, so they go to these events and things of that nature. And I think that those people are just as deserving of celebrating Pride as some people that go out, the muscle hunks and all the circuit queens and stuff like that. So I think that these things are very important, and I think I'll be donating for sure.
Yeah, it's a really important year, like I mentioned, a really important year for transgender awareness and to be seen by that community, because the erasure of that community, the T, and we were talking about queer, is being erased from the monument of Stonewall.
Yeah.
And the good news is my Diego drives by there every day before he goes to work and says that there's a grassroots effort that has actually put up the transgender stickers and flags on their own. And like I said, we will be waving that transgender, because we know we're gay, we're proud enough, but we are going to be showing up for the transgender community on Sunday to show and you can show your support in various ways. You don't have to go to the parade, but there's various ways, obviously, that you can do it, and you can donate as well.
That's right.
To keep this heritage moment going on. So
I really actually commend you guys for doing that and making sure that you're representing for the trans community, because they really need to feel love at this point, because I think there's so much they're trying to divide us right now, our community. So we can't let them do that. We have to support our trans brothers and sisters. And I'm so happy and proud for you, Boo. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we really wanted to shout out also to some Pride collections that are actually giving back to the community. We did on Tuesday's episode, we were talking about collections like Sniffies that have their collections out that you can support. Obviously, Nasty Pig is a collection that is coming out. Mm-hmm. But there are actual collections that are about Pride that aren't Target, and things like Glow Skincare has teamed up with the Human Rights Campaign this year with its limited edition of refillable Glow with Pride Pink Juice Moisturizer. You can get this rainbow colored bottle of moisturizer, and it's available for $40. Glow has made a donation to the Human Rights Campaign. MAC, who's a huge Pride MAC supporter, is launching the Viva Glam Lip Glass, co-created with Grammy-winning pop star Kim Petras. MAC is making one of its largest Pride donations ever, donating $1 million in addition to 100% of Viva commitment, love that, lip glass proceeds to the LGBTQ plus charities, including the Trevor Project, which is truly needed right now, Henrik Martin Institute, and it gets better. Gaddy's is a gay dad-owned lifestyle brand that always partners with LGBTQ organizations, but is stepping it up even more this season. And this year it's honoring Father's Day and Pride Month. Gaddy's is launching a campaign that runs from May 13th, a few weeks back, to June 15th. But it did this already, but it included 20% off all orders. And we thank them for that. And there's a few others that I'll post on tagspodcast.com. But what do you think about some of these? We often talk about what we're losing the support of, but there are LGBTQ companies like our co-host Lincoln that has the Protein Bakery here in New York City that you can order online, that is gay owned, and you can support these brands that have really good products. What do you think about all of this?
No, I love it. I think that it's very important to support the people that support us. That's how brands get established, and that's how it's one hand washing the other, basically. So in turn, if they are successful, then that can only mean more benefit for our community. And MAC has been doing it with Viva Glam since the 90s. So it's good to see their continued support. It's good to see all of these brands out there. I might just go buy some of them and give them away as presents, because I don't use lip gloss right now. We'll see what happens when I get up in drags, honey. But I think that, yeah, I think that this is the way to go. I'm going to be supporting all of these people.
Absolutely. And lastly, we had to shout out to Mexico City, one of my favorite cities. And as a Mexican myself, Mexico's largest pride flag formed from over 5,000 people in one of the most iconic squares in the Zocalo Square in Mexico City. And this year came together for a global milestone marking Pride Month. The iconic moment spanned a 240 meter by 240 meter plaza in Mexico City's gorgeous Zocalo. As mentioned, over 5,000 people braved the wet weather on the weekend wearing tees and umbrellas in each color of the pride flag. And they didn't just do a standing there, they actually danced, sang songs, and from above it looked amazing. They also did this as a statement of peace amid international conflicts. There has never been such expression, quote, anywhere in the world. Mexico City's culture minister, Ana Francis Mar, told the newspaper El Universal it was a demonstration that Mexico City Mayor Clara Brugada Molina said was a statement of peace amid international conflicts. So this was really a statement not just for LGBTQ rights and within Mexico, but also just for peace in general. Leave it to Mexico, in my mind, to get it together, to produce this beautiful moment. And it just, I love, you know how much I love Mexico, and just to see this come together. What did you think?
Oh, me too. I love Mexico. I'm so happy that they did this. These past stories, I'm glad we're doing these stories concurrently, because it shows how much support we actually have in our community and from people outside of our community as well. So I think that is an amazing thing. I think that I'm so proud of them because they were out in the the wet weather.
Yeah.
Child, let me tell you something. As soon as one drop of rain would fall on my head, I would be out of there. I would not be dancing. I would not be holding an umbrella. I would have been in the house talking about, you can't get my hair wet, okay? Right. And I don't even have any hair. So I commend them. And so it shows such diligence and commitment to our community. So thank you, guys.
And if that story didn't warm your heart on how grassroots organizations like this can really change, and how you hopefully were inspiring on many levels, but we just talked about how so many corporations, big corporations, have pulled their dollar from Pride. One company here, a New York City brewery, is actually giving money directly to trans people. This is what I'm talking about. This actual Brooklyn brewery is actually giving money to the trans community. Instead of putting money into parades and so forth, they're actually donating to the trans community. I'm talking about Brooklyn Brewery, the official beer and brewery of New York Pride for 3 years running, has decided, so get this, Cody, they actually used to donate to the Heritage Pride and all of the festivities, but when they heard that a lot of corporations were pulling their dollar, they decided, we're going to pull our dollar too. However, we're going to take that money and we're going to put it into actual causes that benefit transgender people. And they will distribute $25,000 in direct support to 25 individuals, $1,000 each, no strings attached, to help cover basic needs. And while the brewery will still participate in the Pride March and other celebrations this month, President Robin Ottaway says this year felt more urgent than to shift from symbolic participation to something that offers real practical help. This, to me, was a company doing practicality in a year that is so needed to a community. The acronym, but in particular, the transgender community, actually targeting the people that really need help. And I love this. This is exactly when tough times call. We got to get creative. We got to really figure it out and target who really needs the help. And oftentimes in tough times, this is really where you see people showing up. What do you say?
Yeah, I think it's going to provide a lot of change too. And I feel like it's going to allow people to get more involved. I
Yeah.
think that this is really going to help a lot. 25 people. That is very significant, especially in these times. I think it's when trans people are really struggling. So I think this is good for Brooklyn Brewery, and I can't wait to support them back. So because it seems they're very dedicated to our community. So
Yeah, let's grab a beer at Brooklyn Brewery and celebrate.
I don't even like beer. I'll buy you a beer.
Well, we just had to celebrate Pride and show all the love that we see this particular year. And one fight that did not go over very well was the Hetero Awesome Fest in Idaho. You heard me right. There was a whole movement, we've talked about it on this show, in Idaho of another brewery, actually, that decided to put on a year ago. He was so fed up with Pride Month that he says, we need a hetero month or day. Well, it didn't go over very well because they got very few people attending their festival held on June 20th and 21st across from the Idaho State Capitol in Cecil D. Andrus Park. There wasn't a whole lot going on, and it did not go off very well at all.
Are you surprised?
I am not surprised because we will always show up. And I like in this article that they cited Sao Paulo's Pride as, Sao Paulo Pride is probably one of the largest in the world. I've been fortunate to go several years ago, and it's gargantuan. And they were trying to show the number difference of the two, and I'm like, oh, don't even bother. It's like crazy. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to spend too much time talking about this failure, but what did you think?
I'm not surprised. I think that this is, they had about 20 people visit them, and I think it's because, they were spreading hate. So people are not going to gravitate towards the hate. So they want love, and that's what the gay people are. We're love. This parade or this festival was racist. It was homophobic. It was all the things that are divisive. So I'm glad that he got in a fight on the stage.
And just for reference about your last point, in our meeting, we did realize that there was racism happening at this thing. And so Cody is not out of turn talking about that.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
In that, your statement, we
There's a
don't
whole
have enough time. Yeah, it was a whole thing, but we won't bore you with it. Look it up. But yeah, it was racist as well. So thank you for mentioning that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, let's get into some hot topics. And Out Magazine often asks Alec. Alex is somebody that gives advice on relationships, much like we do on this show. And the entitlement of this was, he gave me a pass for sex with others. Should I take it? Dear Alex, they wrote, I would like to ask you for an opinion. Well, you can also ask us too. I live with a boyfriend and I hope we get married soon. But during the last year, my boyfriend lost interest in sex. I am very sexual and I miss sex a lot. We talked about it a lot and we agreed that I could go out alone to have sex with others. On the one hand, I really would like to go because I need to release pressure inside of me. Girl, I hear you. On the other hand, I'm not sure if it's good for us. I believe that he will restore his sexuality, and I want to help him. I don't know about this. I mean, he lives with his boyfriend and they want to get married soon. But what are your thoughts and what advice would you give?
Well, at first, I was like, don't do it, girl. It's a trap. You endanger Molly.
Yeah,
No.
right. He wants to see how far you'll go.
Molly, you in danger, girl. No, but then I read what the therapist said, and it completely made sense. The therapist talked about avoidant attachment style,
Yeah.
and it was basically when a person checks out when things become too intimate, and I've dealt with that before, so I know that it's a thing, and I know that it's a fact, and I can definitely see how it could be. It's a road bump. It's more than a road bump. It's like your tire falls off when you're driving this car, and I feel like it's difficult to navigate. But I think that if with open communication and honesty, and because he said that they have talked so much about this,
Yeah.
I think that it's a good idea to set some guidelines on how to navigate this, because open relationships doesn't necessarily mean the end of a relationship, but I need for everybody to be upfront and all parties to be upfront about this and to talk through it. And I think that he should probably get his needs taken care of, because his boyfriend is going through something, but that doesn't mean that he should deny himself of his needs.
Yeah. And, in episode 676, we talked a lot about hot bro therapy summer, which is a thing, y'all.
Thanks.
For straight people. But we took it, how would that relate to our community? And Jeremy, you and myself talked about the importance of therapy and how therapy can be a really good tool for yourself, for your relationship. And if you've, according to this guy, been living with your boyfriend for a while and hope to get married, but during the last year, your boyfriend lost interest in sex, I think this is a great time to seek therapy. And why did he lose interest in sex over the last? What happened in that year? We don't get all those tidbits of information. Maybe he knows, maybe he doesn't, but this would be a great time to explore that and bring it up with a therapist, right? Because if you really want to get married to this person, you are headed towards not even an open relationship, because it sounds like, he's lost interest in sex. What does that even mean, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think now's the time, if you love this person, to talk to them if you can, but also suggest therapy to explore those reasons.
Well, first of all, I think they should table marriage for a second at least.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Take a pause. If you got a venue book, girl, cancel her, honey, because
save the money for a minute.
Exactly. You got some things to work out before you walk down that aisle, girl. But the therapist was pointing out that some people, when they get a little bit too intimate, and the therapist said that he spoke from experience. So this has happened to him. He said that some people, when they get in a relationship and it becomes too intimate, they tend to pull away. So I don't know if that's this person, but we can only make a conjecture about it, because what could it be? It could be that, or it could be something physical that's going on with them.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah,
they should explore all avenues as far as determining what the root cause of this is. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is something that you do not want to bring into the marriage, like you said, and I'm 100% with you. But lost interest in sex, it's a slippery slope. It does.
It does. And you know what? It happened to me. Not like I didn't lose interest, but the other person lost interest. And for me, I don't think if open relationship was proposed, I don't think that I would have been able to do that. And I would just be jacking off every night like I was. But it's a reality for a lot of people. So if you can explore that avenue, then I say do it.
Yeah. And Open relationships are really interesting, and I've explored it with my partner, but I still think that at least for me, we both have to have a sexual connection no matter
Yeah.
how much we open that. And there's just, we have to keep that going. And whether that, currently we have that and we like that, but if that ever became a problem, we would have to talk about that.
Yeah.
And
It's hard.
yeah,
So
but
my heart goes out to them.
yeah, exactly. And navigating all of that. All right. Well, we were talking about Pornhub's Pride Month. It's the kind of their mid-month, halfway year, mid-year stats that they do. And if you notice at the end of the year, all of the sites do their year in review on what were we really looking at? What were we searching for on porn sites? Well, June is Pride Month, as we all know, and Pornhub decided to do some stats. What are we looking at? And they were quite surprising. This particular episode, like we normally do, produced by Straight Up Gay Porn, we talk about who took the best photo, and there isn't one today, sadly. However, with these stats, we can talk about who were we looking at so far in 2025? Who are the most viewed performers by gay visitors? And were you surprised by some of these names? I'm going to name them in just a second, but were you surprised by any of the names that came up?
I was surprised by the ones that I haven't heard of.
So let me list.
I haven't heard of.
Well, one of the things in the U.S. that we talked about on episode 676 was that for several years, twink has been the dominant category in the U.S. that has ruled who gay people look at as the number one pick. Not necessarily you listening, but that is the number one pick. This year was not the twink. It was Black performers. And coming in at number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was none other than Raheem Shabazz as a performer that I think we all know.
Yeah.
And is obviously a African-American adult performer. And he was at the top of the list. Malik Delgatti, do you know Malik?
Yep.
Was up there as well.
He's number 1, yeah. But you know what was really interesting to me is I think Raheem might be the only Black person on this list.
So that's kind of interesting, right?
It's interesting, right?
A lot of Latinos were on the list, including one that I may or may not have been with back in the day. Rafael Alencar.
Oh my goodness.
But he's Brazilian, and a lot of Latinos. Did you not notice that? Diego
I noticed.
Papi Kosic. Who else do I see?
Papi Kosic is white, though. I'm pretty sure he is.
Okay. Danner Mendez. These are Latino names. If they're choosing Latino names and they're not Latino, there's a problem.
Of course, they all want to be like us. Boo, come on now.
Right? Exactly.
Papi Kosic, I think he's white for sure. But I think he's the only one that is code switching in this.
Yeah, you're right. Malik Delgatti at the very top is the crowd favorite that a lot of people look, but he's very white, and he's not my type though.
He's nice and muscly. I would throw him out of bed.
I was happy to see somebody like Fox. I think it's Tyler Wu on the list as
super
representing
cute.
Asian. We mentioned Raheem Shabazz. What were some of the categories in certain states that were really particular? Well, in California, you guys were really looking up big dick. But,
yes, they were.
Yeah, but in neighboring Nevada, Black was huge. And in Oregon, twink was big. And what's above Oregon over there? They're not listing all these states here.
Washington?
Yes, was Black. So I was trying to look what was Texas looking at in Florida, but I don't see those.
It's grayed out because there's no porn there ever anymore.
Okay, right. Can you list some of these states that are on this map here that people were looking at?
No, they don't have
here.
the names in them. No, North and South
Yeah.
Dakota is twink. North
Okay.
Dakota is twink. South Dakota is
Arizona
big dick.
was mature. New Mexico was jog. Colorado was straight guys. Wyoming was military. South Dakota, hand jobs. North Dakota, daddy.
You moved to the next
Minnesota was bear. Iowa, webcam. Missouri, interracial. Louisiana, college. Georgia, black. Michigan, hunks. Ohio, twinks. West Virginia, muscle. Pennsylvania, cum shots. New York,
now.
bareback. Maine, massage were some of the categories that were listed for this half a year in review. Interesting results. Were you surprised by any
New
of
Jersey
these?
was Latino. Hello, New Jersey.
Okay.
How you doing?
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised by a lot of this. People like big dicks, black guys. They like a lot of things. So
Yeah.
I feel like this is it's par for the course. I think that people are going to be searching for all kinds of things, and you're never going to be able to predict what people are into in this day and age. So good on them. Continue watching porn. Continue supporting LGBTQ plus support creators and porn stars and things of that nature. And yeah, love it.
Why do you think that twink has become such, or has been a staple topic for years and years and years for so long? I mean,
I don't know, but
because when I was a twink, and I was one at one point, I did not like twinks. I was always looking for older. And now that I am of a certain age, shout out to our former podcast that we had, I still don't love that twink sensibility. I mean, I appreciate it, and I love being surrounded by younger people. I think it's for sure, but I'm still not attracted to it. But why do you think it's like the dominant? Were you ever into twinks?
I don't really think so. I was into muscle guys probably my entire gay, coming out era. So I haven't been really into twinks. The reason I have a really horrible joke. Can I say?
Please say it.
I think the reason is that people are not searching twink as much is because of the Austin Wolf case. So
oh god,
they're afraid to now.
Oh Lord, you went there. Yeah,
I sure did. So sorry, guys.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think I'm right.
I mean, yeah.
They're like, no, keep that away from me. So
yeah, let's leave it on that.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's move on. And we're always looking out for your safety because there's a recent article. It was an article in Australia, but Thorn Harbour is a community center in Australia that is your go-to for everything for LGBTQ health and wellness, including things like PrEP and DoxyPep, things that will keep you safe. They recently did a whole seminar on what you need to look out for when you're going on the apps. And I like that they really did this. A pattern of incidents was noticed 12 months ago that they wanted to really relate to the people in their seminar. They said that I want to say how excellent they basically shared their stats on what people should really look out for, not just when they go on Grindr, but when they're going on any gay app. So they said people are being asked to open up their banking apps and transfer money on the spot. The proximity of features on Grindr and Scruff aren't as of concern because you can't pinpoint a direct location. Some people are really asking people to go over to places like Snapchat and other features where you can pinpoint right down to the building. Have you ever seen that where people have tried to get you over to a different app like Snapchat, Cody?
Definitely. But Snapchat allows you to verify that a person is real and in real time. So I think that's why people would ask me to go onto Snapchat, not necessarily to stalk me or find out what my specific location was. But that is very concerning that is out there in the world right now.
Yeah. Red flags to look out for that occurred in this meetup were moving the conversation to another app, which is a biggie, asking to meet you in a secluded or isolated space.
No, ma'am.
They may or may not mention or allude to being underage, and they won't share an image or the image looks doctored. And we all know what that could happen now with AI and sort. Reporting the incident really makes a difference. So they really encourage you, if you've been or you feel like you've been a victim of it, you really should report this, because I think a lot of times you're scared and you don't want to be that person that was maybe taken advantage of.
Yeah.
But this is really what's going to give organizations and the data that we really need to stop a lot of these people from using these apps to take advantage of our communities. So things to think of: be mindful when taking and sharing photos. Is your home or street identifiable? Ask them to send a different picture if you are suspicious, or a specific video outlining a phrase or action. Make sure you are meeting up with the person you are chatting with before you meet. Don't be afraid to ask follow-up questions if something seems off, and trust your instincts. That last one has got to be so important, Cody. Trust your instincts. What do you say about that one?
Oh, definitely. I feel like my instinct and my sixth sense has saved me so many times when I'm just like, okay, this seems a little strange, so let me not engage with this person anymore.
Yeah.
So I feel like people should turn on that sixth sense a little bit more. And yeah, I can't say that I haven't done some things that have been a little bit risky,
Sure.
but I feel like the more I know and the better I do. So I feel like this is something that should be taught worldwide. Honestly, it should be taught. It should not just be here in Australia. It should be something that people are able to attain and get into in other locations as well.
Yeah, we were talking recently about Puerto Vallarta and the importance of just meeting in a public space. And there's so many public LGBTQ places that you could meet in. Just do that. Meet that. If they don't want to meet you, they're not worth meeting. If you
Exactly.
ask somebody to meet them, hey, listen, if you're in a place like Puerto Vallarta that has hundreds of spots that are all LGBTQ friendly, just ask them to meet you there, and maybe have your friends at the next table at the other bar across the way. Just do it, because it's so worth it. And if they are who they say they are, they will show up that way. If they aren't, then that's a little shady.
It is a little shady.
It's so easy to do it in places like that. But if you are in other places, go to a public place is the number one
Starbucks
thing that you can. Yes, absolutely.
Sonic. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I don't know what that is. But
you don't know Sonic? Oh my God, they have the best burgers. Girl,
yeah, no,
I gotta take you there.
No, I don't do that. But I will do a Starbucks moment. I would do a Starbucks moment.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I'll take you to Wendy's.
I don't know what that is either. Yeah, I don't do fast food. I don't. I just don't. I don't do it. I'm sorry, people. You don't really do it either. I love how you're
like every now and then when I'm shit faced and I'm coming home at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I love it because Diego he's cooking up something over there for us tonight. And
I'm coming over there.
Before we got together, he loved a chicken parmigiana. And I don't like fried chicken. I don't do that. But we have been cooking up a storm since I've been back from Africa, and it's all healthy stuff, and I love it. And aren't you cooking up something healthy over there? He says, So yeah, I love it. So it's just, you gotta, love it. George watching us live says Starbucks, yes. Fast food, no. Thank you, George.
Fine.
Thank you, George.
I'll keep it all for myself.
I love it. Well, we love giving advice on this show. And tonight is no different than any other. And let's do some fun ones because we have a little bit of time here. By the way, sadly, there is no straight up gay porn. Who took the best shot? That's why we were talking about Pornhub. But this one, you got to get into in time for Pride. If you go on social media right now, you'll notice there's all these memes and AI of Golden Girls. Well, this comes in time wishing us Pride. There's another one of all these pop stars like Mariah Carey, Madonna, all walking in line as if they would really be friends and walking in line for us. It's hilarious. But this one comes from Reddit, and it says, could four gay men live together a la Golden Girls style? Strictly platonic, they say, in a communal arrangement. I think with the price of rent these days, people will make it happen. And what's that show on Netflix with Nathan Lane and
Mid-Century Modern?
Mid-Century, yeah. I think absolutely it could work. What do you say?
I think absolutely. I think that me and you and Diego and my mom are all going to be in one.
Right?
Convalescent home, and I'm going to be not Blanche.
Not convalescent.
I'm going to be, what's her name? The tall one. Be Arthur.
And I love be Arthur.
Blanche, and Diego's going to be Rose. And y'all gonna be together, and me and my mom are gonna be in the other room. So let's do it.
No,
I'm ready.
Diego wants to be Sophia always. He just loves Sophia, and his humor is very Sophia. So yeah,
I love this. I love the Golden Girls.
I absolutely think, just to be a little serious for a second, there's all these places that are popping up they're looking out for our community as we get older. Places like Palm Springs that are really putting together housing. And I think a lot of our community, believe it or not, is going to have to live together due to high prices of rent. And
rent is too much.
But we will be the community that can handle it, because we have always had to rely on each other, and we've always had to rely on our chosen family. And so I think it's a beautiful thing. Hopefully we have some separation and some parameters going on, but I think absolutely. And what a beautiful thing. I mean, I was just having a conversation with my mom right before we jumped on this, that she's really rethinking of getting her third dog. And I'm like, Mom, I told you companionship is important as we get older. So one thing our community knows is companionship and how important that really is. So I say yes. I vote yes.
Me too. Let's
bring out your best, Sophia, Rose, Dorothy.
I got muumuus, girl. We could wear muumuus all the time.
No muumuus. No muumuus.
You don't want to do anything fun. No fast food, no muumuus.
I know. I'm a little like, yeah.
I'm joking.
All right. I'll find another area. I'll have the alcohol, though, for sure.
Oh, okay. See, that makes up for everything.
What did you say over there, Diego? Yeah, he says, I'm with you. Go, dude.
Thank you, Diego.
Thank you, Diego.
That's 2 points for us.
Okay. Listen now. This one comes from exploring myself. I've only had a few sexual partners, and I'm freshly out of a long-term relationship. I'm looking to explore finding what I like in the bedroom, bottoming, topping, kinks. I have pretty much no experience with hookup culture, but would like to partake. Any advice where to start? Ooh. This is an exciting one because you could just go to the buffet, and Monday is the sushi department, and Tuesday is the Italian stallion department.
Love me those.
Yeah, excuse me. I think this is a really good time to explore your sexuality in general. They didn't really mention how old they are, but it's a great time to... I had my period where I was really exploring. I was exploring with BDSM culture. Just take a night of the week and go to a different part. Hopefully you live in a place like a city that has opportunities to explore this. But with the apps, you could do this as well.
Yeah.
What do you say?
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, go on Grindr. Put what you want out there into the world. Let them know I want to explore. I'm trying to explore my sexuality and look for different things and see what I like. People are very accommodating, especially if they're getting ass. So I think that all you have to do is put yourself out there, and then what will come to you will be for you.
Also, we live in a really exciting time. I don't need to remind many of you, but you can go on apps like, what is it? The one where you can like jack off with somebody, a dude's nude.
Oh, it is. Well, Dude's
Dude's
Nude
Nude.
also Jerkbait, right? No, wait,
You
what
can
was the
go
other
on,
one?
well, you can go on places like Dude's
Master?
Nude where you can actually jerk off with somebody and you can be verbal. You can explore your top side and verbal side with somebody else. And you can also explore uh, your passive side on sites like that. You can do that on a lot of the sites right now. There is Double List, which took over Craigslist, and you can put up an ad of what you're looking for in your neighborhood. So you can put up, I'm looking to be a bottom in fishnets on my bed. You can the next day you could put up a whole nother ad on you're looking to be a dominant top. What I'm saying is take advantage of technology today and the beauty of being able to change your persona and what you want to experience on a daily basis, weekly basis, and who you want to be. That's the beauty. I did that for years and years of not using the apps, but going to bars and just doing that. You can now do that on the apps in a really easy way. And I think that's really an exciting time to be a part of.
Definitely. Bait World was what I was thinking of.
Bait World's a great one to experience. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, we've come to our hour, and you can always, happy Pride, everybody. We mean that from the bottom of our hearts. You can always follow my co-host, Cody Maurice. His brand new single, I Don't Want to Fight, is out Friday. Follow him at Mr. Maurice. Follow me on the gram. I am _Steve B. And in the meantime, continue having hot, gay sex.